Real news. Honest and fun political talk weekly on the line 90.7 FM.
Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Real News Uncensored. We are back for more unfiltered opinions and discussion here. We'll be back on the regular show in about, I think, 6-7 weeks that we're now down to. And we're back to be our normally scheduled program with lots of cool guests and stuff. But for now, we're going to talk about the massive social media summit that was at the White House. It had many people that had complained that there was a bias on social media against conservatives. Some of the people there that did show up were Sebastian Gorka, Ali Alexander, Tim Pool, James O'Keefe, and a few other people like Benny Johnson. I think Charlie Kirker was there too. So there was definitely a lot of people there. And of course, what a lot of people are saying, well, what about the actual people that were banned, like Alex Jones, Laura Loomer, Milo, and Gavin McInnes? Ali Alexander said that he talked to the staff there and they said that the White House is going to meet with those people separately. So it looks like something is still going to happen with that. And I'm pretty optimistic it will, because they probably want to do that for optics sake maybe, or because those people, you need more time to be one-on-one because they're a much bigger deal. But what's interesting though is that coincidentally, while this was happening, Twitter went down for about an hour during the summit. Coincidence? I think not. And I think Gorka got into a little bit of a verbal fight with a Playboy reporter. Didn't know they had reporters, and I don't really think they're the most prestigious reporters out there, but that did happen.
I'm stunned that is Playboy even a magazine?
Yeah, but they got rid of the nudes.
Well, they okay. Hold on. No, I'm pretty sure they were they stopped. Okay, all right. So they stopped. They I think they were bought by another company. They that's when they decided to no longer do nudes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just weren't selling anymore, because who wants to fucking see a Playboy without no nudes? And then I think Hugh Hefner's son or grandson
Just took over now.
started. Yeah, he started it up again. So now it's back to kind of somewhat of its old structure-ish. But yeah, I'm like, I was like you. I'm like, dude, they have fucking reporters. What's up with that shit?
Yeah, and I bet once his son took over and changed the format, the demographic shift in who bought the magazine skyrocketed for males.
Yeah.
All their female readers just disappeared. But did you guys see the speech that Trump gave, or looked into it at all, or anything with this summit?
I did not. He gave a speech?
He did. He did give a little speech. It was pretty fun. And he brought a few people up on stage, like the lawyer that's representing I'm slip on that guy's name. You haven't heard him. The Google employee that was fired, James Damore.
Yeah.
She represents him, and I think she represents a few other people. She spoke at that thing, and it seems like it was a lot more was happening behind the doors. But I remember we were talking about before we started, but Ali Alexander's a very interesting character. I think everybody should follow him right now on Twitter. Right now, go to Twitter and follow at Ali. Ali is the first guy to expose Kamala Harris and show that she wasn't what she said she was, or what people thought she was, ethnically wise. He was the first one to do it. Nobody else is giving him credit for it except a few people. But he's the first person to say, hey, she's not black, even though she's acting like she is.
I thought she was Jamaican or something.
She's half Jamaican and half, I think, Indian. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. But we talked about this a million times in the show, even when we had Milo on. You can check that out on our channel. Go to Versa and check the interviews playlist, or just check our videos. You can see the full Milo interview. It was a lot of fun. When we did that, I think his idea still was the best idea, which is accelerationism. Get more people banned, get all these big names banned, because then more people start caring. Get Crowder banned, get Tim Pool banned, get James O'Keefe banned, get all these people banned, and then you'll start seeing change. So I think things will happen after this summit. I know there's interest, on Trump's end, but it's a I don't know when actual action is going to take place.
I think they're kind of like concerned about doing action because like I don't know, it'd be tough to do. Like there'd be a lot of pushback. It's not that it'd be tough. Like I think there's some clear antitrust violations going
Right.
on because like Google's been fined like several $billions by the EU, and like Facebook's been fined for a bunch of other things. So like it wouldn't be like you know legally hard except for the fact that there would be like pushback from Democrats, I imagine, just because Trump says something they're going to want to fight it back.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Trump will be like, let's save the environment, and then he'll be like, then the next day you'll see like an article saying that flowers are racist or something, or a symbol of white privilege.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think it's a good idea that they have stuff like this. I wish there was more of that. But like, yeah, I just feel that a lot of the people who are the most censored probably weren't there because they have some baggage associated with them. But that doesn't mean their voices shouldn't be heard because I feel like everyone, like no one should be just completely unpersoned unless you were like a serial rapist or like a murderer or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That point you'd be in jail. But if you're otherwise a free person in terms of like not being in jail, I feel that you should have a right to, an online presence.
I was thinking about this a little bit, and a lot. I feel like the mainstream media has a lot to do with this, and well the like especially with the reactions, because a lot of these guys that are starting to become censored are really they're independent journalists.
Yeah.
The ones that are being attacked are independent journalists, and like they don't. I feel like the mainstream media has a pull right now on these social media sites, and they're using it to try to take these independent journalists off because they're making them look bad, right? It's like all of the mainstream media stuff that you see really is just regurgitated corporate trash, and like the the good ones are being pushed to the side, and I I, I mean, what do you guys think?
Well, here's the thing also, is that these mainstream media companies are old dinosaurs now. They're
Mm-hmm.
dinosaurs just waiting to die,
Mm-hmm.
and they see all these new content creators as competition, and they want to
Mm-hmm.
squash it. They want to get rid of it. So they're going to be totally on the side of censorship, and they don't want to cover this. They don't want people to know about it because they're going to lose their job one day because of
Mm-hmm.
this. These people are more influential, more popular, more interesting than they are, and they can't stand it. So it's only a matter of time and a matter of when our generation starts to take over that the big switch will happen, the big energy switch between old media and new media. That's something guys got to look out for over the next like 10, 20 years. Is this big energy switch you're going to see. Nothing will be the same. You may even have a lot of these companies just dying off completely. They, like you've even seen recently, I mean, it's a little bit different, but Mad Magazine isn't going to print anymore any new
Mm-hmm.
issues. They're
Mm-hmm.
done. They're going to print some old ones, but they're not going to print any new issues. It's
Yeah.
dying industries. These are all dying. And they're struggling. I know journalists get paid nothing. These independent people, though, are doing it because they love it. They do it because they care. They do it because they care about the truth. It's a totally different ball game, and an energy shift will happen. It's going to be a big switch.
Yeah.
And that's why I was ranting about this actually earlier today. It's why I can't stand people like Ben Shapiro because they are doing the exact same thing, even though they act like they're not. They're like, oh, I'm a conservative and I care about free markets. And yet he is the one who is smearing off his competition because he's jealous and he doesn't want them to be successful. He wants them to fail. So he smears Milo, he smears Alex Jones, he smears Gavin. And that's what he is the machine. He is the establishment. He is exactly what he says he is against sometimes. He's just slimy about and disingenuous.
Well, I think that the sorry about that. I was catching my breath for a second. I I think that the mainstream media or the mainstream news or like the establishment news, it's just an inefficient business model now with with everything that's going on online. Um, with YouTube and all, like it's rendered big companies like that with these big budgets and all these employees and all that. It's just inefficient. And so they're naturally going to start losing money to these smaller markets because the smaller markets are in the game and really they're doing a better job.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, but you look at that, they even had this on the what was it, the Oliver the Oliver show on HBO?
Oh, John Oliver,
That
yeah.
yeah. So they had a piece where they were focusing on journalism, and one of them was the Oregonian, which back in the '90s was like this really big news outlet. They were big. They were growing, and the online surge pretty much wiped them out. Like they're now kind of reduced to like a normal, like little smaller news outlet, which is it's their story is pretty much how everybody else is looking at going,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they don't change their tune real quick. And this is part, like with a lot of these companies, a lot of these bigger news companies, you have the New York Times. They got uh they got an investment from Carlos Slim. um Washington Post, they got bought out by Jeff Bezos. A lot of these guys are getting bought out, but it's like you have to, if they don't fix that business model, they're going to keep losing money,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just going to basically, that you're still going to start seeing a ton of these layoffs. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs. A lot of money is going to be lost. And I mean, it's one of those things. Like even in the business world, it's like adapt or die.
Yep, exactly.
So, and that's what the media is encountering right now.
And their problem is when they do try to adapt, they're bad at it and they fail. Like look at MTV. Remember for that like short period of time a few years ago when they tried to be woke, they tried to be trendy and cool,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
remember they made some like blatantly like racist video, and they just got so much hate for it. They got ratioed hard, and they were laughed at because of it. This is the problem. These people don't know how to adapt. They're stuck in their ways. They don't get it. They don't have the instincts. They don't have anything in them that can, adapt to this new media environment.
Like, just thinking of MTV, like they've really had a fall from grace. Like back in the day, they used to actually be music television.
Yeah, it used to be
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing ever.
But then YouTube came around, I guess, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of took away a lot of that opportunity because MTV was probably the only real place a lot of people had access to music videos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Before then, there wasn't really much. Now what they have, it's like what was it, like some anti-white show, and then they have like Teen Mom. It's just like, what the hell is this? I remember they brought back Beavis and Butthead for like a season like years ago, back when I was in high school, and like it was funny as shit. I love that season, but like they had to take it off because the audience has completely like changed from MTV. Like it's no longer like these like edgy teenagers. It's like a bunch of these like females who are into drama.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look
I
at
don't know.
the article I just posted on the Daily Beast. Look at their new. They have a quote super trashy, sexually fluid dating show. Uh, that does not look appetizing.
That's all it is now. Is like you get your like fucking reality TV. That's all it is. And I hate reality television. I think
Mhm.
reality TV is just disingenuous. It tries to play itself off as like, ooh, this is what real life is like. It's just a big fucking fraud. It is one of the most stupid genres of television. Like there is no reality TV show that I know of in the past like 10 years that's actually like real, like except for maybe Cops, or a live PD.
Border
Other
Wars.
than that,
I think so. I think a lot of these people watch reality television for self-validation. Like they watch
Yeah.
it, and they're like, "Oh, look, I'm not fucked up. Look at the Kardashians. Look how stupid and crazy they are." When it's like, okay, they're doing it. They're getting paid millions of dollars to do it in front of the camera, right? You're a stupid, crazy piece of shit for free. Okay. You're exactly who we thought you were. Okay, so let's reel it in.
what is that show that looks like? It kind of sounds like Jersey Shore, but with like random people.
Is it
Yeah.
like there's one? It was a Floribama or something like that. It's like real trash. I mean, super trash.
Yeah, I think it's a guilty pleasure thing for people because then, like you said, it's that validation where they're like, well, my life's not like that. I'm not that trashy. I can just laugh at these people that are. It's like, no,
Yeah,
this is disgusting. This is degenerate. This is like, it is, I mean, it hurts my eyes to watch these things.
yeah.
Not even reality. It's like you're watching a play.
No, it is.
Completely scripted. Like you remember that show Sons of Guns, like way back when.
Yes, I do. Yeah, before the guy, like, wasn't he in trouble for, like, touching girls?
It was like raping his daughter and stuff like that. And,
Sounds
like,
about right.
Yeah, but like I watched that show, and I used to think it was enjoyable. I actually went to this forum, like Pennsylvania Firearm Owners Association. I looked into it, and like, now I watched the one episode, and someone bought like a Remington 870, and they're like, they threw like some some like tactical shit on there,
Mhm.
and it was like, oh, this is now worth $1,000 for a fucking Remington 870 because they put like a tactical stock and like a red dot sight on it. Like, no, this is fucking bullshit. And
Yeah.
it's like Pawn Stars. They do the same thing, and I actually like Pawn Stars.
Yeah, me too.
But like, it's completely fake because legally in Nevada, you have to like you're not allowed to go and film in a pawn store. So everything is literally staged on there by law.
Yeah.
Then how
I
are they
like
able
pawn-
to do those things then?
I like Bar Rescue, but I mean that is just a disaster too. Like, and I like it. I like how John Taffer does things, but most of those fucking bars have went belly up. Like on that show, they actually have a website that keeps track of where
Oh,
each bar
really?
is at. Yeah. Most of them are fucking gone. Like, yeah, and it's like, no, it's reality TV. It's just as bullshit as
That's real
anything
life.
else. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's the thing I've also wondered, like with when you see like Gordon Ramsay, like he like fixes these places up. I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
has it stayed fixed? Have the people been fixed?
I don't know, dude. I skip this like I don't know the Gordon Ramsay one, but like I work in cybersecurity and I see these like fucking advertisements out there for like what was it, Shark Tank? It was like see the keto diet by this former Shark Tank contestant. I see a lot of like it's literally that same one. I've probably seen it 100 fucking times. I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. Like who does this shit? Like this actually went to Shark Tank. Like, and there's another thing on Shark Tank. I saw an advertisement on like I don't know if it's Facebook or the fucking internet, but it was like the no phone. And basically, it's just a brick that looks like a phone. And if you won, it was like a $30 fucking piece of rubber that won on I think it was Shark Tank or something else like that. It was completely fucking useless.
Some of those people do move on to do bigger things and their things do become successful, but I think also a lot of them like lose the ownership of their product, and it's not. I mean, you lose a lot of your rights when you go on that show, pretty much of what you have.
Yeah, it's like most of those like game shows too. Like I knew a buddy of mine who back from Penn State, and he actually won. I think it was one of the largest payouts in I don't know if it was Jeopardy or the price. I know it was The Price is Right, and he was telling me Yeah, he was telling me he still hasn't been paid for that. It's just
Really?
like, yeah, years later, because like he apparently he was like a news reporter, not news reporter. He was a weather guy, and because of that, they're like dicking him around with that. But on the television show, they said he won like some crazy high payout for that, but he didn't actually get it. At least not last time I checked up on him, and that was like a year after the show came out. Like a lot of these places are fucking scum.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, they'll get you.
I didn't know a lot about this. Like, we had somebody or at least you knew from our school that went on The Price is Right.
Yeah, yeah, he was a cool. Yeah, that guy was a good kid. He was smarter. He had insight into things that, looking back, he was right about. But I digress. I digress. But like you sent that a Daily Beast article. I'm looking at it. What pisses me off? It grinds my fucking gears. It triggers me. It's like support the Daily Beast fearless journalists. Like bullshit. You're not doing real fucking journalism. This isn't even like they'll make the journalists out to be like a fucking U.S. soldier, like in how much like quote unquote journalists. But the vast majority of the journalists they revere are just like criticizing Trump.
Well, when
Like,
in reality, they're the only time they're soldiers when they're playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
yeah.
See, I'm like, and that's like my question is, well, what is the definition of journalism? Most of the shit we see is like opinion pieces, and it's not ultimately and like opinion. I don't think opinion pieces are real journalism.
No.
I think journalism is like, okay, you're reporting on what happens, you're interviewing somebody or something along those lines. But if it's just you writing an opinion, like, no, any asshole can write their opinion on a fucking blog and it could be an opinion piece. And is that considered journalism? Get the fuck out of here.
Honestly,
yeah, like fucking Milo.
That's what I was going to mention, yeah.
But like, dude, you sent me that fucking article and I see this like gay black guy on there and you can pretty much see his penis.
Oh,
His
yeah, I see it.
dick through his fucking pants just on a cover. It's making me gag a little bit. Like
as long as you're not gagging on the penis, we're good.
It's just pretty fucking big. it's just saying there. How are they allowed to go and post that? I'm going off this fucking page because the guy looks like pretty flamboyant out there wearing this like he has like this shirt on it and it looks like almost like a
it looks like a crop top.
Yeah, like do you see his dick?
It doesn't even match. The colors don't match.
Like it looks like a fucking uncircumcised dick just hanging out.
You would know what that looks like.
It's fabulous.
If you've been on 4chan or 8chan enough, you'll see more dicks than you can care. That's
a good excuse.
That channel, like, man, the chants have gone downhill.
Really? I haven't been on them in a long time.
Dude, back when I was like in high school, like they actually had interesting threads on there a lot. Now you go into 8chan or mostly 4chan, like the B section, all it is, it's like, rate my dick, cuckold thread, and there's like probably there's like multiple cuckold friends like at the same time.
Oh god.
B section, all it is, it's like fat. Post picture. It's like this disgusting beta behavior. It's like post pictures of girls that you jerk off to on Facebook, and then do cum tributes where they jack off onto a picture of someone. It's the most cringe incel shit. I don't have like pictures you share but you shouldn't, and then they'll have like furry draw threads, and that's like pretty much 4chan in 2019. Now every once in a while, you'll find something like legitimately interesting. Like I remember like a few weeks or a month ago, they had this like yellow, like I don't know if this was some sort of operation on B where they would go and put this like yellow stuff to go and like get people to stop posting porn. I don't know. It didn't really work well. Like they go and put something yellow and it would be like a picture of a crusader or something. It was like stop this degeneracy. But like there was just so much porn and cuckoldry on there. Like I think the left realized that 4chan was where a lot of these people were coming from, so they created bots onto there.
I hope they get raped by a furry. Does that make me evil? Does that make me evil?
Who do you
no comment.
No, so these fucking insults that do this sick shit. And I'm like, I think it would be funny too. I'm not gonna lie. Like if you get raped by like imagine going to the police station and saying I've been raped by a furry. Like imagine what the reaction would be. Like they're like, you got raped by what? You got raped by you got raped by a fucking mascot? What the hell?
It's gone downhill, let me tell you. Like they used to have actual interesting stuff, but now it's like, the next newest like tranny porn thread and like feet fetish, and that's all that like B is. And it was always full of like porn and stuff, but like, it's just gotten worse. And there's so much like anti-Trump shit on there too now, and you can tell that bots are doing this. The vast majority of it. Like, I don't know, man. It's just sad. That was when I was like in high school. That was the shit. It's like, oh, it's like the most edgy place on the internet. It still probably is. Like, especially go off of B, going like Pole or go on to like K. You'll find some pretty edgy shit on there. But like now, it's just a bunch of like, not even regular pornography. It's like, just incel like themed pornography. But man, times have changed,
Yeah. Well, the good people might come back when 2020 rolls around.
I mean, they have other places. Like I guess a lot of them probably went off to Pole. Like B's always been like a shithole. Like they say that Reddit's the front page of the internet, and 4chan was the fucking like asshole of the internet, and that's it's probably been pretty true about that. Because like 4chan will make fun of Reddit all the time. Like they have a huge rivalry.
Well, see, it seems to me like a lot of things will start on the chans, but then they'll migrate to Reddit, and that's where they become mainstream or popularized. That's usually the trend I see. That's why I kind of stay on Reddit, because you weed out that sort of like crap, but you still get in on this stuff.
I do like the chance because I don't like Reddit because you don't, well, at least on 8chan you don't get shadow banned. Like 4chan, they've had some controversy. Like the founder, like was it Tim or who was it, Chris Poole or something? I don't remember who it was. Moot. He ended up like selling it. Like I think like a year, like in 2014 or something like that. Now he's a Google employee and he's like he hates what he created.
Oh,
But
really?
like yeah, like he became a cuck because people on 4chan found that he was like getting cucked by some like Asian girl, and they started making fun of him on his own website. And yeah, like, and then like when Gamergate happened, that was I think when 4chan started to go downhill because like 4chan like banned the threads. At least, yeah, like they just banned it everywhere. And then like that's when 8chan became popular.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I heard about 8chan is because like people who'd be banned from 4chan would go there. And back in the day, 8chan was run by this like, I don't even know what disorder he had, but like his name was Hot Wheels because he had like a wheelchair.
Oh my god.
Crippled. And that guy had a really sad story. He lives in the Philippines now, and like, yeah, he doesn't own it anymore. Now I think the same guy who owns 4chan owns 8chan, which is pretty crazy. And like I think he also owns 2chan as well, which is some like Japanese one that was what 4chan's based out of.
So they're both owned by like one guy, though. Like there's not like a board or a group of people that own them.
No, it's like one guy. Like one guy owns 4chan, one guy owns 8chan. I think they're the same person now. Like there's a lot of like behind the scenes drama with that, and I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, like Hot Wheels, he was an instrumental piece in Gamergate that a lot of people forget about, and he still has a Twitter account, and it was funny because whenever he would post on like 8chan, it'd have like a little crippled sign that you put up in your car. It was like a little blue dude in a wheelchair. And he was really cool. Like he was some sort of like dwarf, and he had some issues, and he had a very interesting life story. Like he used to be the admin of this other website called Wizard Chan, which was like literally incel 4chan, where the only way to get out, like if they found out that you had sex with a woman, like voluntarily on like that website, you'd be banned.
Oh, really?
And he used to be an incel for a while until he's pretty much, I think he was like sexually abused by someone in like New York. It was this like fat chick. He has a sad, like that kind of sad life. And then like he moved to New York City. Like he ended up getting like robbed the first. It was like I think the first like month he was there. Like he's an interesting character. You know, if we could interview someone like him, I think that'd be interesting.
That'd
'Cause
be really interesting. We could try to hook up with somebody like that and make something happen.
he's an interesting character. I don't know how he's really been since he sold 8chan, but I think he's kind of regretted what 8chan has become. But he probably has to say that because you get a lot of very interesting individuals on there. Like if you look up 8chan on Google, the actual website won't appear.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why I don't use Google anymore because they literally censor the shit out of anything. I'll use DuckDuckGo because they'll at least show you.
Yeah, that's the one to use.
Can't confirm it doesn't come up.
DuckDuckGo.
I'm sorry, but Google, you can't beat it. I mean, other than that stuff.
No, you can actually change it on your iPhone. I noticed that you could change it on your iPhone. I did that.
Yeah, you can.
Like,
you can change any search engine you want, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't want to give Google any more traffic. You know, like DuckDuckGo, you can actually there's an option to go and use like Google's search engine from within there if you want to for like a search. Like if I need to do like an image search, you can still do that on Google. But like, and you know, if you need to do translate, I'd use Google for that. But for regular searching, DuckDuckGo does not censor results like Google does.
Yeah. Although I found that Google is better at looking up porn than DuckDuckGo. Okay. I have noticed that.
You would notice that.
Hey.
Accurate assumption, I imagine. I have not used DuckDuckGo for pornography.
Like I'm talking specific shit. Like you're trying to type up specific stuff that you're have like a fetish for or whatever. You just have like, you know, it's easier because and it's fucked up because you think Google with all of this censoring and shit, you would think that porn would be the one thing that they would fucking censor.
Oh no, they like love porn.
No, DuckDuckGo actually still has like the safe search and shit.
You can like, search, but like it is a little bit more difficult because they don't have like user accounts. I think it does it by your IP address. So that's a little bit interesting. But yeah, I like DuckDuckGo. It is better than Google. I just not so much like I just fucking hate Google.
Does it have Google Maps?
I mean, there's times to use Google, but for a regular Google, like for a regular internet search, I'll use DuckDuckGo.
Okay.
Now, if you do like maps, I can use Google Maps because, you know, I don't think they're going to censor your results. Well, they might censor your results, and if they did, we'd be kind of fucked because there'd be really no way to get on with that. You know, they like, and I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. Like, you know, how hard would it be for Google to go and like, let's say you want to find a gun club, they just like remove that search result. Or they'll bring you to like the Brady campaigns, headquarters.
Well, see, already one thing I notice I don't like about DuckDuckGo that's way nicer of Google is when you want to find information quickly, Google's the way to go. Like, remember the other night we were talking about the unemployment rates. I Google unemployment rate of Detroit. I gotta search for a bit to find it. Like with Google, that card comes right up and you find it quickly.
I just looked up unemployment rates. Data.bureauoflaborstatistics.com/time series United States unemployment rate. You can do unemployment rate by state.
It's a slower process. I mean, I understand why people use it, but it's
slower. I literally just pulled it up. I have it right here.
I know, but I already found it with Google with one quick search.
I just looked up state unemployment rates. Boom.
Yeah, but I was looking for cities. I was looking for the city of Detroit.
Unemployment rate by city. Rate for metropolitan areas. Boom.
See, what if I'm in like a poor area like Delco and I'm using like dial-up? I'm not going to be able to do all this clicking.
Dial-up, Google probably won't work either. And they don't have the same like controversies with their like stupid like Google picture because they don't have pictures, just the duck. Can't cuck the duck.
Oh, you mean with the Google Doodle?
Yeah, you have to deal with that controversy. You know, like, look, they have a night mode.
Okay, that's nice. Oh, That might make me switch just right there. You do not know how much I like dark mode.
They have an infinite scroll option, so instead of going to different pages, it'll automatically do that.
Huh, okay.
You know, like it has a lot of stuff. And then, you know, you can find, they even do have their maps. I didn't even know they had maps, but they have their own map option there. I've never actually had to use it. 99% of the time I use maps is on my phone.
Yeah.
Like through the application. So I don't really, you know, I do not know if the app has the maps yet, but it is a legitimate competitor, and I think Google's letting them survive because if they do not have they're the second largest competitor that's actually unique, because I think Bing steals Google search results, and they're, you know, why would you even want to use Bing or Yahoo?
Bing is for poor people. Bing is terrible.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like, it literally just uses Google search. They censor it's from Microsoft. Like, I don't know why Microsoft even stays in that game. Like, maybe it's corporate customers. They might have some sort of integration with whatever other Microsoft products they have, but like, jeez. Like, I just don't see a use for that. Like, I miss Ask Jeeves. You know, that guy was kind of
I've never heard of that.
You ever heard of Ask? Like, it's now ask.com, but like when I was in like elementary school, there was a little butler guy on there, and it was like, yeah, we searching for this motherfucker. That was back before Google was like popular.
No, we see, you're older than me. I wasn't around with a lot of that.
We had Yahoo. That was the shit back when I was.
I do remember that, and Yahoo doesn't even have a search engine now, do they? No, they kind of do. Yeah, I guess just nobody uses it.
All what Yahoo's been doing is like putting social justice articles out from what I've seen.
It's really?
They're mostly like a fucking clickbait website now. And then they have like Yahoo Mail, which I haven't. Like, I have a Yahoo Mail account I've not used in like 2 years. I don't even know if it's still around because they keep hacked, or like they got hacked one time. Like that's a real thing too. Like, you know, you get hacked once, you kind of.
That's what I do worry about. Is what if somebody hacks Facebook? What if somebody hacks Google? What if somebody hacks Twitter and they take not even everything, but just half of the data, half of their tracking data, half of the data they have on people? That would be catastrophic. That's the problem with these things being too big, but they seem to have decent security, unless, of course, if something does happen, they just don't let people, know that it's happened. But it's because I think, wait, wasn't it Yahoo? They didn't tell about their massive hack for quite a while after it happened.
A lot of places, a scary amount of places deal with that. Like, they just won't show that information. Like, I wish fucking DuckDuckGo would make a fucking email account service, though. That would be the one.
They should. They actually should. The only problem with DuckDuckGo is it's got a terrible name. Like, it's so long.
You can't cuck the duck.
It's okay, true. But like, if you're gonna make an email address, like at gmail.com is like quick, easy. At duckduckgo.com is like long as can be.
That wouldn't necessarily be the just like at duck or something. Duck.go or they could do something.
They could do something like that, yeah.
I don't know if they have, but let's go do a DuckDuckGo search. Go email. They have their own email account. Yeah, they do have their own email account.
There you go.
Wait, no, do they? They don't. I don't know if they have their own email accounts. Yeah, they don't have that, but I mean, they have other email account. They just you can go to Neo Mailbox, Rise Up, Proton Mail, LavaBit, or Countermail. I mean, I'll use I think HN has something that's like cock.li.
I was going to mention that one, yeah.
I like that one because you don't need to go and use any sort of verification to sign up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Not like Google now, where like you have to put your phone number and your social security number in there.
Yeah.
I don't think they do social, but like you have to put a lot of shit on there that you shouldn't.
Dude, it'll happen one day. We have to do that. You wait. You're just ahead of the curve right now.
We're gonna get like fucking Real ID in the next few years.
Oh, I got one of those.
Oh no, but like to do anything on the fucking internet, it'll be like you have to go put your Real ID identification number to go and sign into fucking Gmail, sign into YouTube. You can't do shit anonymously. Like Mr. Mediker talks about this a lot, and he's right. You know, we're slowly going there, because back when the internet was like, when I was a kid, to sign in, you didn't even need to go and put your real name in there. Now places like, and now they make you verify with another service that usually requires either your name or your cell phone number.
Well, I remember the times when you didn't even need an email address. You could just create an account. You really didn't even need an email address, but that started, quickly changing. But you need so much more now. You like with Twitter, you can, I don't know about currently, but I know you for a few years ago, you could technically sign up with either an email or a phone number. But if you just use email, they would eventually delete your account if you didn't put a phone number in. It was
I don't
so.
like that.
What?
I wish there was a law against that.
Yeah.
There could be that you like there you can't have a service that that relies on other like certain services like to be tied into it. I wish that they'd make one though, because like there's a lot of people out there who don't have phone numbers or like cell phones. Like my girlfriend didn't have a cell phone for the longest time.
I didn't have one until I was a junior in high school.
Like she didn't have one till like a couple months ago. Like there's people out there who don't need fucking.
Well, I would say though that like 99% of people in America do have one.
But why would you want to use that for some of these services? Like,
That's the thing. I don't want them having that.
I get enough spam calls like as it is, and I think a lot of it's because you have to put your cell phone verification on so many different websites. Like, I wish we had just ended it at email verification, because I can see why they have email.
Yeah, me
because
too.
If you forget your
Your password, they can just send it right to your email.
Yeah, but like with your cell phone, it becomes a little bit much.
Mm-hmm. Well, one other thing I would like to, I was talking with Phil the other day, I think we should dive into. Um, he was explaining to me about the so-called equal pay of women's soccer. Do you want to explain everything you explained to me?
Yeah. So I've always been a fan against what they were claiming, because they the U.S. women's national team, they filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Soccer Federation, saying that the pay that they get, like per match, and the win loss bonuses aren't equal to the men, and they're not. But the reason there's reasons behind it, right? Not Let me get into this one real quick. So the first thing that people have to understand is the US women get a straight salary by the US Soccer Federation. That like they run the National Women's Soccer League. And what they do, instead of the clubs paying for the players that play in the National Women's Soccer League and the U.S. Women's National Team, instead of the clubs paying for it, the U.S. Soccer Federation pays for it. So they get a straight salary, and then their bonuses are obviously not as big because they don't pay for the men. The men don't get a salary. Like they just show up and they get paid their bonus. They get their game pay, and then they get their bonus, win, loss, whatever. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is you have to look at the club itself, like now the National Women's Soccer League versus the MLS and the other leagues. But we'll stick to the MLS because a lot of the Americans play in the MLS. You have onesies and twosies of plays for other leagues, but we'll stay. So, the MLS is gaining popularity. It's popular and it's gaining popularity. It's not at the level that the British league and the Spanish league and the German leagues are at, but it's gaining popularity. And the National Women's Soccer League, they're nowhere close to being as competitive at all compared to the MLS. Like you're looking at the average attendance. The average attendance of a National Women's Soccer League game is 6,000 people. 6,000
Jeez.
people on average show up to a National Women's Soccer League. The MLS, the lowest attended game last year for the MLS is 5,100 people. So it's kind of close, right? It's kind of like, their average is probably MLS lowest attended game. The U.S. Soccer Federation actually they subsidize. Not only do they subsidize the salaries of these female players, but they're also subsidizing for like the facilities and the like the additional stuff that goes along with it to keep it alive. Because if they didn't subsidize the National Women's Soccer League, it's dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's dead. There's nothing left to it. Whereas the MLS, their TV deal pays them like $90 million a year. They have, they have a lot of people that attend their games. Their final, the MLS Cup had like 72,000 people, and it had like millions of people viewed the game. So it's a different animal. But of course, nobody wants to listen to that on the other side. They just see, women win World Cup, we should get same pay. And it's like, and then even if you look at the national teams, right? They're basing their proportionally to what FIFA pays for like a World Cup, right? So obviously the argument that you're starting to hear with other like outlets is, so the last World Cup in Russia, the men's World Cup in Russia, gained $6 billion in revenue, and the player pool for prize money was $400 million. So where the winner got like 38 million, I think it was. The winning team got 38 million. So the women's World Cup, they had like, I think it's like somewhere around 150 million in total revenue. And I think the players got like 30 some million or something like that. So it's actually so the women actually got a higher percentage toward over the actual revenue than the men got.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so it's like they're more like FIFA's going out of their way to they're actually overcompensating the women. Not only that, the U.S. Soccer Federation is overcompensating for the women. Like, we're in proportion to the revenue, they're overcompensating. And so so this is the argument that they have. So now, and this is politically kind of divided too. Whereas, you see a lot of these like liberal Democratic politicians that are going equal pay. Like you saw Kristen Gillibrand, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. All these people were saying, "Oh, the women are winning championships, and so therefore they should at least get equal pay." And it's not that simple of an argument.
Yeah, it sounds like to me it's a lot of, oversimplified thinking, and just like with any gender gap debate, they aren't comparing the same things. They're comparing apples to oranges. The men here are doing different jobs for different amounts of time. They're getting bigger audiences. They're paid differently. They have bigger name advertisers. They get more attention. They get more publicity. They have more tournaments. They have more games. Yada yada yada. So of course they're going to be paid differently. Yeah,
and last kicker, right? So the other side are going to say, well, there was a study or there was a research that said that from 2016 to 2018, over that time span, the women actually gained more in revenue than the men, which is it's very deceptive because one, the men didn't qualify for the World Cup. If they would have qualified for the World Cup, they would have went over by leaps and bounds. And two, they play the women's national team play more games than the men because the men have other obligations. Like they have the MLS has 34 games, the English League, which Christian Pulisic now plays for, that's 38 games. The German League, 38 games. Like it pretty much the European team have 38 games. MLS has 34. The National Women's Soccer League has like 24 games.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a more opportunity for the National Women's Soccer League or the women's national team to play more games, and they do. Like over the last year and a half, the women's national team has played 5 more games than the men, and still, but even with that, the men's national team still had more attendance, not only per game but overall. Like when you compared those two statistics, so it's a very deceptive statistic, and so I mean, honestly, if and I'll throw something else here too. I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff here.
There's a lot of pieces of this puzzle. It's very complicated.
There is. So the women's so the National Women's Soccer League just signed a television deal with ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
The financial terms were not disclosed.
Oh.
Nor is the National Women's Soccer League. Their financials aren't disclosed either.
Mm-hmm.
That there's a little deception going on there, right? But anyway, guess what channel the National Women's Soccer League was on before ESPN? Go ahead, take a wild guess. I'll give you a hint. It's a women's network.
Let's see, QVC.
No, women's network.
For Winfrey Network.
Say it again.
Did you say the Cooking Network? What?
No, Lifetime.
Oh my god.
Lifetime. You've never heard of Lifetime play any sports fucking thing ever, but they'll play National Women's Soccer League games. But in any case, if they gain more, they'll get more. This is a very capitalistic argument, right? Now, I hope that they get paid more, but they have to earn more. You know, there's nothing wrong with women getting more when they earn more, right? Like this World Cup, over around 1 billion people viewed the Women's World Cup. So the prize money will probably rise just by more people seeing the World Cup. Maybe this TV deal with ESPN, maybe that gives them more viewership. Maybe that'll up the revenue, and then it'll up the ticket sales, and therefore it'll up the salaries, right? Maybe that happens. And it's not like we don't like people don't want them to earn more money, but it has to be
people want them
natural.
To earn.
Yeah, it's an earned thing, right?
Well, if you're going to lose to a bunch of 15-year-old boys, yeah, you're going to get paid less. You're not high caliber AAA players, unlike other ones. It's just the facts. I bet if you pitted the women's
your value, and this goes for any business, anything out there. Your value is whatever someone else is willing to pay.
Yep.
Right? So if not a lot of people are willing to pay for you, you're not going to get a whole lot, right? And like with the women, the men's national team, Christian Pulisic, he just signed some bazonka deal for Chelsea, right? They paid what they paid? It was 60-70 million for the player, and then he got I think he might be making over 10 million to play for Chelsea. Like, people are going to pay to watch this kid play. So he's going to get paid reflective of that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, and the other thing I think also is, and you both should give your opinion on this because it'll be interesting. Well, let's say we had a game. This actually might happen, and I think it should happen to prove a point to people. What if we played a soccer game that pitted the men's U.S. soccer team against the women's U.S. soccer team? Who would win?
I mean, well, of course. You know who would win.
Well, here's the thing. When I was in high school, I was on the swimming team, and in the swimming team, you could go and tell like the men's and the women's scores would be like significantly different. Like to even qualify for like a for a score as a man was much more hard to do than like comparatively than as a woman. It would be hard, but like if the man were to go and take that place, it would be easy. Like I would have qualified for certain things, and I was never a star like player on there. But if I was a woman, like or if I was rated as a woman, I would have like qualified for like districts or something. Like it is crazy the amount of differences that you get between men and women with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not saying that women are like, worse or anything. There's certain things that they, it's just
we're different. It's that simple. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
We're just different.
Yeah.
What happened to diversity, people?
There's a lot of women out there that could kick my ass on a lot of sports, but on the average, like men like tend to do better, at these things than women do.
Yeah. It's just the way we tend to be. It just is. But I bet biology is pretty sexist now.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so do I like me? If I have money, do I want to see Megan Rapinoe dribble a ball past the goalkeeper, or do I want to see Cristiano Ronaldo kick it from outside the penalty box and curve it on the way in?
Yes.
Like that's yeah. Like that. This is what I'm saying. And more like, okay, so more people when Cristiano Ronaldo moved to Real Madrid, like when he got bought, when Real Madrid paid a boatload of money to buy him, they had a presentation, right? Because normal times when you buy a star player, they present you and you do this like thing for the fans and all that stuff. Over 80,000 people came to the Bernabeu to watch Cristiano Ronaldo be presented as a Real Madrid player. That wasn't even a fucking game, right? They paid to watch him be presented. More people paid for his presentation. More women paid for his presentation than any fucking women's soccer game ever, right? Ever. And you're talking that like this is the difference. This is the difference right here, right? Right there is the damn difference. You like I would love to be able to pay. Like, okay, so that's not saying that there's women that I wouldn't pay money to see from sporting, obviously. Yeah. You know what I mean.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
All right. Don't get dirty on me. Come back to me, people.
Oh, come on. I would never do that.
Yeah. No, like Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey's fighting. I'll probably order the pay-per-view, right? I'll probably order it. Right? It's like, yeah, I mean, there's certain athletes. Serena Williams, even though she lost, I watched her play.
Yeah,
right?
she's very good.
Right.
That
So
15-year-old too is really, really good. She beat Venus, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, and I'm saying, like, look, and it's not, but I'm saying there are women that people will pay to see.
Yeah, but it's usually tennis. It's 9 times out of 10 tennis.
But I'm saying, like, and some like, and I did watch the Women's World Cup. I did watch it. I was trying to be supportive.
Good boy.
But those goals sucked ass. I'm sorry. The only goal that I saw that I liked was the second goal. I want to say it was Kelly O'Hara.
Mm-hmm.
I think she smacked a really good goal. But every other goal was like a penalty, or is it like a dribble shot that went past the goalkeeper? I'm just like, come on.
I played soccer. Those are the layups in the soccer world.
Yeah, I'm like, look, and I'm a pretty big soccer fan too. I can tell. I like the Clasico, the Real Madrid Barcelona games. I freaking live for them. Right? I will say everything stops. Everything stops when a Clasico comes to town. But yeah, because they're athletic. It's a beautiful. The ball movement is epic. The goal scoring is incredible. Like, and that's what I would pay money to see. If I wanted to see people, dribble a ball past a goalkeeper, I'd take my ass to the fucking Penn State stadium and see it. Right? If I would, same effect.
Insular school.
Same effect. No. I'm saying.
They're not as good as what you're saying, and you're not wrong.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. If I offended any people, I apologize, but that's the reality of the world we live in.
Now you're definitely not getting that diploma in the mail.
I already got it. Penn State can suck it now. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, come now. Yeah.
Go State.
Okay.
Go State.
Okay. Yeah, that was a very very believable motivational.
They're still getting my money.
Oh,
They're still getting my money. I'm going to pay a premium. I'm going to go see the whiteout game. By the way, have you guys ever seen a whiteout game?
No, but I'm a senior.
Oh my God, the epic is so epic, right? There's like every year that Penn State has the whiteout game where it's like 110,000 people pack in the stadium, dress in white, and they scream whenever the opponent has the ball. Everybody screams at the top of their lungs. It's like, it is crazy. That is a crazy game.
I'm just not into the sports ball, but maybe I'll do one. Maybe I'm.
Yeah, you have to see it. Yeah, if you're only going to see one game, that's the one you got to see.
Okay, I'll remember that. Mm-hmm. In other words, I'll forget it. Mm-hmm. I'm terrible when it comes to sports. Speaking of sports, there's a new. This is sports for, I guess, people our age now, is doing challenges. And now the new one that's trending is the hashtag ice cream challenge, where people are literally going into stores, taking ice cream off the shelf, licking it on the top, putting the lid back on, and putting it back in the shelf.
These people need to be thrown in jail.
Yeah. No. They need to be thrown over the wall immediately.
If you're like that sort of disgusting person who wants to go and like basically desecrate food and like contaminate it, like you need to be thrown in prison.
And they're putting like these videos of it like on social media. They're like filming themselves doing it. I'm like, imagine if your employer saw that, you'd be fired.
These people don't care. They won't have to worry about jobs. They'll be living off the government. Like hopefully in prison at least.
Well, they must all be burning AOC supporters then. They know they can get away with it. So, I don't need a job. There's a job guarantee, right?
I just hate that stuff. Like, that's disgusting. Like, what if someone has like herpes or run out of or like hepatitis?
And they're costing the stores money too, because they have to, like, if you lick it, and they know about, and the
They have to
store knows
replace
about
it.
it. They have to and they don't know which one it is. They have to recall the whole fucking all of them, right? Because if they don't know who did it, like, or which container it was, they have to recall them. I think they recall them all anyway. If
Well, I think it would
they
become
hear something like that, yeah.
I think they would, because they'd be afraid of lawsuits, because it's a liability for them.
Yes,
now, you know?
yes. So they're costing. They're not only. These people that do this shit are not only nasty bitches, but they're also like it's financially detrimental. It's not just the $4 fucking the $4 half gallon of ice cream. It's the whole thing, the whole freezer, that section of the freezer they have to recall.
Yeah,
It's
they have to recall freezers.
Well, no, I mean that it's serious shit, and like, yeah, if I see it, I might punch somebody in the face. Like I might.
No, I was told that because of this new trend, they're gonna have to start implementing like seals on ice cream. That like with medicine or like certain other products where like there's that like little thing on top of it to rip off.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to start doing that with ice cream now because this is becoming such a major trend.
To be honest, that's not a bad idea, just in general. But like, it's annoying that you have to do that.
It's gonna cost so much.
Because it's gonna cost me more to fucking buy my ice cream.
That's true.
Looking at like something that would not be a problem in like, maybe like once a year this would be a thing, versus now where it's like you get like 50 of them every week. It's going to cost you, like the customer, extra money because someone wants to post a video on the internet of them being some dumbass and licking your
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm pissed. Like that. Now I got to pay. Now I got to pay more money because some piece of shit put their ball scrubber on the fucking ice cream. What the fuck?
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna like increase on like, this gonna stop at just licking the ice cream, or someone gonna like stick their finger up their ass and like smear their shit.
Oh god!
No, don't do this.
Cookies and cream already has enough brown chunks in it.
Like, they're gonna like start like putting their dick on the ice cream, putting their genitals on the ice cream, putting their ass on the ice cream, just to go like some form of accelerationism for this new bullshit.
No, those are the people I hope they get raped in jail. I'm sorry. I know that makes me sound like a terrible person, but yeah. Oh, you want to lick some fucking ice cream? How about you're forced to lick somebody's how about you lick somebody's snatch? How about that shit?
Well,
fuck you.
Somebody was looking a tongue depressor in the doctor's office, and now all those were contaminated. Like, it's spreading beyond stores. Like, it's going into hospitals and doctors' offices and places where people genuinely like can get really terribly infected.
Yeah, like in the doctor's office, let's say someone has a compromised immune system, and then you lick some sort of medical equipment, like you lick a needle or something, you lick some form of internal device, and then you have a compromised immune system because of cancer, and then you end up like dying by someone's like mouth germs because they're being a fucking idiot on the for internet fame. Like, and then like you're mentioning with prison, how's that going to turn out when you end up going to prison? They're like, hey, what are you in for? I was looking at ice cream. Like, you are going to be like you'll be slightly above pedophiles, but like you'll be pretty low because no one's going to give you.
They will definitely be swapping your ass for a pack of Newport. That's definitely going to happen. And I will be smiling when it does.
Just why? Like, and I think a lot of this problem is like the news media reports on this shit. It's like with the Tide Pods, where it was some like dumbass on the internet making a joke, and then the news media, the old media, reports on this, and then you see like family time comes around, or you're like at the end of the day, some like idiot's like, oh, I see this on the news. I can get on the news for free by licking an ice cream cone, like an ice cream gallon. Oh, guess what? I can one up this. I can lick the tongue depressor. And then like, what's it going to get to? Like, is this going to increase? Are people going to go to a used car dealership, put their like asshole onto their like gear shifter and like dildo themselves with it? that gonna like be an escalation, or people going to like masturbate onto the fucking ice cream that you get at the store?
God.
Are they gonna like put their dick in the mayonnaise jar and like fuck the mayonnaise in the store and then like leave? Like what is this going to accomplish? Like every single product is now going to have a tamper resistant seal now, and that's going to cost like you don't think it's much, but like if it's an extra 10 cents on literally everything,
Yeah, it's up a lot.
especially for cheap products, like some guy ends up putting their tongue into the fucking bubble, like not bubble gum, but like the M&M's jar. I don't know how they would do that, but like the mayonnaise, they'll start licking the mayonnaise, and especially for something like just picture mayonnaise, because that's not even put into the I guess no, those ones I think do have the seal, because people, if they even open it in the store, they get busted for it. But like it's gonna end up getting someone seriously sick.
I think the punishment should be everyone in the United States should be allowed to punch you in the face one time without getting any no charges, right?
No, each lick you do gets you a punch.
Yeah, you could do like that too. Yeah.
And I think you should get like it needs to be hit pretty hard, like years in prison for this stuff.
Definitely. I was just saying the punch in the face to be funny, but yeah, no, seriously, they should probably go to jail. They definitely should go to jail, because most of these people look like they don't have shit. Like you could probably try to, these companies could try to like get them in civil court or some shit like that. But these people probably don't have shit. That's why they're licking. That's probably why they're licking this ice cream, because they can't afford it.
Well,
I think they can afford it. I just think it's like it's like it could be funny on the internet.
Yeah, it's the same thing with all these challenges, like people doing stupid stuff to get attention.
Like like you remember years ago, or a couple years ago, or maybe a year ago, I don't know,
the Tide Pod challenge.
There was a Tide Pod, then it escalated to the self-immolation challenge. Like some kid lit himself on fire for a fucking internet challenge.
What?
Good.
Natural selection at
its finest.
It's not though, because they I don't think the kid died. They ended up going to the hospital, and it costed I think it's like $300,000 worth of stuff, which us, the taxpayer, and the insurance companies have to eat up.
Yeah,
it's just for what purpose?
We might be saving some money right now, because I don't know if you guys have been on Twitter in the past few minutes, but there is a major power outage in the entire New York City right now. Like everything's out. That there's some crazy pictures of like seeing the city like just completely black right now.
Yeah, good. New York City's a shithole. It needs to be blacked out altogether.
Yeah, so you don't see the grime and the
fuck it. Fuck them. Right? Oh no, what am I gonna do now that I can't see Saturday Night Live? Who gives a shit? Fuck them.
I should like physically go
that unfunny fucking show, man. Good riddance.
Yeah, well, I remember what I first saw was when Jesse Waters posted on Facebook about his show, and now I'm seeing it all over. It's just this massive power outage. And then I also saw some more culture news. Scarlett Johansson responded to criticism of roles she chooses to play by saying, "I should be allowed to play any person or any tree or any animal." She's gonna piss people off now.
If you want to play a fucking tree, go for it. You want to play a tree? In fact, I would rather you play a tree than any fucking role that you've ever played in. Like, you're a horrible actress. You want to play a tree? That would be the best.
She's
fucking
the
role for
actress too.
Yeah, and a giant ripoff too.
She is honestly like just okay. She's not that good looking. I'm just saying, putting that out there.
The only good pictures of Scarlett Johansson are the nudes that were leaked off her cell phone. The only shit, right? No, there's nothing. They're like I don't care. Like it's like, oh, they're like, hey, if you're stupid enough to fucking pay that much money to see Scarlett Johansson, you deserve to be poor. Like, you deserve to be poor and living in a fucking trailer park, man. Fuck you.
I don't think I can add to that. last thing we'll talk about very quickly, because this is just a lot of stuff that we kind of already have talked about before, and everybody probably knows our opinions, but there's been a bunch of immigration stuff happening over the week. There were some hearings with ICE on the treatment of migrants, and I think ex-acting director of ICE, Homan, was unloading there. If you haven't seen the videos, go look them up. This guy just bulldozed all these people that were calling him racist, saying he didn't care about 5-year-olds dying. He was just going at him. It was amazing. Beautiful footage. He left AOC actually speechless by just presenting facts.
Doesn't take.
Yeah, but this man deserves a raise. I saw these videos. I was like, he deserves a raise. This guy is awesome.
Yeah.
And Vice President Pence also visited one of the ICE detention centers, which people crapped all over him for. Of course, you can't do anything that makes him happy. And Sunday is going to be my favorite day. It's not just because it's a special day for personal reasons, but it's also a special day because this is when the ICE raids start happening in 10 major cities. Ice, ice, baby is happening.
Like, I keep seeing people flip out over this, even like quote unquote conservative people. They're like, oh, the conditions are terrible in these detention centers. Well, you know why they're terrible? It's because there's too many people coming over.
Yeah, I know. They're overflowed. They're like literally like breaking at the seams with people. There's people like packed in there because they don't know
Yeah.
where to put them, and nobody wants to control the border, stop this, or build a wall, or finish the wall, I should say, because some of it has been built. But
You know where there's a great place to put them?
Guantanamo.
Over the fucking wall.
Yes, I know. It'd
How
give us
about
so
that
much-
shit? Oh no, we don't know where to put these people. They're
Uh.
packing in and everything. I got a response. Let's put them over the fucking wall. How about that? How about that
Strong
shit?
second. Strong second. With the vapists, cyclists, and ice cream liquors all over. Bye bye.
Mhm.
But yes, it is happening. I'm excited. My popcorn's ready. I just, I know I'm gonna be slandered in the comments as, oh, you're terrible for thinking this, but they're removing criminals, okay? Their priority is criminals, like murderers, rapists, drug dealers. That's who they're getting rid of. They're not getting rid of your, like, sweet little neighbor next door that just doesn't happen to have their papers. No, they're getting rid of
How
awful
the
people.
hell are you able to get a house?
I don't know.
Like, cause I mean, I've bought a house before. I've rented. I have never had, like, every time I do that, they want like so much forms of goddamn documentation. How are they able to do this?
I don't know. I don't
Able to
know.
live in this country without documentation. Like, it honestly bewilders me. You can't go to the liquor store. You know, you can't buy certain things, like even from Walmart. Like, you want to go and buy spray paint, you can't do that without
Well,
having some form of documentation.
Well, a lot of this is going on in California.
Yeah,
That part,
and that's where they give them free passes for everything.
that state is super fucked. You know what? I think we need to build a wall around on the California border too.
Second,
Fuck it.
Here's what pisses me off. Like, in certain places, you know, in California, you try to go and like smoke a cigarette, they'll, you know, that's like either illegal or you'd be like 21. They'll hit you hard for that, like smoking cigarettes or selling loosies or something. But
Mhm.
you know, you shoot up heroin on the street, you shit on the street, you piss on the street.
Mhm.
You know, oh, that's
Yep.
perfectly fine. You know, you can do heroin,
Yeah.
you can do like heroin, which is literally going to kill you in like 5
Yep.
years
mm-hmm.
if you keep that shit up, and will ruin your life. Versus you have a cigarette, which honestly, out of all of the drugs out there, you know, it is extremely difficult to overdose on a, you know, cigarette. Like, maybe if you, like, you know, just start drinking vape juice, like, you know, you might
That's
be able
gonna
to
be a new
overdose.
challenge. Don't say that.
No, I think we need to make a Drano challenge, drinking challenge. Drink Drano. Like,
Don't
yeah,
drink
yeah.
bleach.
No, just drink Drano, and that'll be the challenge. And then recommend that 3 other people do it.
Well,
Go for it.
You're actually bringing up a great point, Alex, because the other news that happened, I can't believe I forgot about already, was the whole citizenship question on the census. Trump was going to push for it to be added on there, but his administration realized there's a much smarter way to deal with this, which is you don't have to ask people and then they lie and you get skewed statistics. You simply just look at the records you have, because these people they don't have social security numbers because you can't get one. So they just got to look at the records, count how many people there are, and
Yeah.
count how many people have social security numbers and who doesn't. Boom, got your answer.
Yeah.
Because every citizen has one, right from birth. But if you're illegal, you don't. So.
Well, they weren't able to do that before because
The Supreme Court rule.
the debit. Well, not only that, logistically, it's like a nightmare to fucking take care of that shit too. Now, I mean, shit, you could do that shit on your iPhone. Like you could ring up somebody information and it goes to a fucking huge data center and
Yep,
like
it's a smart,
it's
easy way to
incredible
do it.
now.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
great. And we'll finally get like a solid number to talk about this from now on.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with more real news.